Alright, so we're already here. And I guess all we need to do is go into the tavern and actually start the story. Because we made all of our preparations yesterday before ending the stream. Make sure I have everything the way I want it. Okay. This is a town we basically already explored, so until we're done doing all the Chapter 3 stuff, I'm not going to come back and explore these towns again, at least the ones we've already been to. Hear a tale? Already finished this one. Okay, so, after learning of the Merchant's Fair, you head to Victor's Hollow to find an item worthy of the auction. Eventually, you make your way to one of the shops. The story so far. In Quarrycrest, Tressa met a fellow merchant named Ali. He told her of the Merchant's Fair in Grandport, where the greatest treasures in the realm are put to auction. And so Tressa vowed to find a worthy treasure, hoping to prove herself a merchant worthy of respect and renown. So it was the two promised to reunite at the fair. I wouldn't be surprised if these two fall in love or something. It's about time I updated the notebook. I'm on my way to the Merchant's Fair in Grandport. But first, I need a treasure worthy of the auction. So I've come to Victor's Hollow to find one. It's a pretty straightforward notebook entry. The owner of this book found what he was looking for here. Hopefully, I'll be as lucky as he was. Alright. It's time I had a look around this place. Let the search begin. Excuse me, could you tell me about this map? That old thing? Don't really know where it came from. Found it in the storehouse and thought about throwing it out at first. But I figured I could make at least a few leaves off of it this way. Mind if I take a closer look? There are traces of old lines where it was redrawn, and it smells of the sea. From the looks of it, this map was very special to the one who drew it. I think there's something written here, but the characters are strange. I'll be darned if you read those scribbles, young lady. My dearest friend, here lies the most precious treasure, Balthazar. Balthazar? As in, the dread pirate Balthazar of the Eastern Seas? And this is his treasure map? Sure seems that way. It must be worth a fortune. Give me that. Lady Luck is on my side today. Now let's keep this between us, young lady. Here, I'll even give you some candy. But I didn't come here for candy. Oh, well, we have some travel banter. Tressa, whatever could this pirate treasure be? I'm not sure, but I'd love to find out. Wouldn't it be amazing, putting your faith in that ancient map, sailing the high seas, braving tempests and storms? Oh yes, what an adventure that would be. Why, just imagine it has my heart full of flutter. Heart all aflutter. Oh god, I can't English today. Ophelia, so you have the spirit of adventure in you too. I certainly do. Oh, how I yearn for the romance of the open seas. When I was just a small girl, I'd often watch the boys playing at pirates. Oh, I used to play at pirates too. Captain Tressa, Scourge of the Seas. Don't you know it? My motto was, another day, another treasure. I can see you now, wearing a bandana and brandishing a wooden cutlass. I overdid it at times. Sometimes the boys would break into tears and run home. Yes, I can see that, too. So, off topic, I was working on trying to get a webcam to work, so I could have a webcam up, and on my Windows 10 machine, I cannot, for the life of me, I cannot get it to work. OBS will not pick it up, no matter what I do. I've tried, like, all the suggestions I've searched online, but I was able to get it working on my Windows 7 machine with the Elgato software, or the Elgato getting picked up as well, because I use a Elgato capture card. And that would get, and whenever I try to do anything on OBS on my Windows 10 machine, it picks up, if it does pick up the webcam, which it picks it up maybe 1 in 10 tries, then it screws up the resolution of the Elgato. Or it just doesn't pick up the webcam at all. But I was able to get it ready on the Windows 10 or on the Windows 7 machine, but that computer's really loud and it's on its last leg, so I don't know if I want to do that. But I may make the switch just to get a working webcam.
Phew, time for a break.
No, I already wrote in my diary today, so I'll give the notebook another read. In this world, there are countless treasures, but only one is precious to me, and I'll journey on until I find it. He had only one true treasure in the whole world. Oh,
Hello
fancy
there.
meeting you here, Leon. Good to see you making use of that notebook. Meet again, lass.
Mr. Leon!
What brings you here? I should ask you the same. Don't tell me you ran away from home. Not quite. I just decided it was time I saw the world. And I have the notebook you gave me to thank you for it. To thank for it.
Oh.
Thank yourself for choosing it, lass. Sink me. I be ready to make a grave of me hammock. Oh, ain't ye Nick and Knack? It's Mick and Mac. Yeah, bird braid ninny. These two again. You're that kid what gave us quite the lashing back in Triple Slime. It's a Ripple Tide. Did you two learn your lesson yet? That's quite enough.
Mac.
Apologies, Captain. Captain. Aye. Our pirating days are behind us. We be working under a different flag now. That day opened our eyes to the true greatness of Leon Bastral. Now we'd be having the honor of calling him our captain. I mean, he was the guy you guys looked up to, so I guess that makes sense. I'm glad to see you two singing a new tune. As am I. They've been doing well under my command thus far, but still have a ways to go. Right you are, Captain. Now look alive, you half-drowned doo-doo. There's work to be done. These two. What level is the manners? I forget what levels it recommend, Slayer. It seems like it should be at least getting close to being good. Have you tried doing all the bonus dungeons around the opening areas and maybe even the chapter 2 areas? You can gain quite a bit of experience for doing that. It's level 20. What sort of problems are you having? Like, is it AoE damage that's killing you? Is it single target damage that's killing you? So, lass, how do your travels fare?
Well,
I'm still learning as I go, but I do have a goal now. I want to sell something incredible at the Merchant's Fair. If I can manage that much, it'll prove just how far I've come on this journey.
You
Well,
don't say.
There's certainly no better place than the fair for an aspiring merchant like yourself. And what exactly is it you've deemed worthy of the auction? I wish I could tell you, but it's still waiting for me to find it. Are you talking about the AoE slash? Oh. A yet undiscovered treasure, I see. Then I wish you all the best in your search, lass. Thank you,
Thanks.
Mr. Leon. By the way, what brings you to Victor's Hollow? It's the home of an old friend. He passed away around this time of year, so I decided to pay a visit.
Oh.
Were you too close?
Hi.
Oh, Balthazar, huh? Balthazar and I were like brothers. Balthazar? As in that Balthazar? Which Balthazar, lass? The Balthazar who drew up the map I found earlier.
Could it be?
They may just be one and the same. Could you show me where you found it? Yep.
Yes.
Follow me. If the slash is getting you,
Hey.
what I can think of for advice is, like, first of all, make sure all your gear is up to date, and maybe try giving evasion gear to your characters. That way, you have a high chance of dodging it every now and then. That way, it doesn't, like, completely wreck you. Another tip I can give is to use a party that consists of 2 healers. So maybe make sure that, obviously, you have Ophelia as one of your healers, but maybe bring either like Primrose, or actually better yet, bring Cyrus and make his sub job a cleric as well. That way you can have double the AoE healing. Another option, if you've amassed a number of items, is you could go with Alphen as a healer. Some of his concocted things can give you some pretty hefty AoE healing from his apothecary job. And then what you would want to do after that is make, like, have your tank be Ulbrich, and he can take any of the single target damage for you, and that way the rest of your party is only taking the AoE damage. And if you've given them dodge gear, then they should hopefully be dodging some of them, if not most of them, depending on how much evasion, I should say, how much evasion you can give them. And then I believe you picked, you made Ulbrich a healer. I don't know if I would do that, because you need him to be sucking the brunt of the damage. So you really want his defenses high. I would ideally make him either a hunter. Like, if you're not having survivability issues, I'd make him a hunter for coverage. But if you are, I would give him thief for more evasion. At those early levels, evasion is very, very good. I'm starting to get to a point where it's not that good, but and then I believe you picked Haunted as your main, so I would just make her your main damage dealer, and just take it slow and steady that way with 2 healers, and then your tank and your damage dealer, and see how that goes. Excuse me, sir. It's me again.
Welcome.
Welcome back, young lady. I trust you managed to keep the you-know-what a secret in the meantime? I'm really sorry, but I couldn't. What do you mean you couldn't?
What do we
Pardon
have
the
here?
intrusion, but I heard you might possess a map belonging to Balthazar. Who are ye? This is Captain Leon Bastral. Leon Bastral? Scourge of the Seas? I don't want to believe it, but there's no mistake in that blue spear. I heard all about ye and your famous words. What were they again? The strong take while the weak quake? Those are words best forgotten, sir. Ha. Do you take me for a fool? I know you're just here to loot my store. I can assure you I came for no such reason. I cast aside that lifestyle long ago. This certainly looks like one of Balthazar's works. Really don't plan to steal it, do you? I see. So the rumors of the great pirates Leon and Balthazar being friends really were true. Huh? He sounds different. If you two are as close as the stories say, then I'm sure you'd do anything to have this map. Am I right? However, it's a precious family heirloom, and I'm afraid I cannot part with it without recompense. Okay.
What?
But earlier he said it was just But earlier he said he was just going to throw it away.
Huh.
If you're truly the Leon Bastral, then I'm certain you're well versed in the treasures of the realm.
You see.
But I am but a lowly merchant, you see. Nothing in comparison to your grandeur. But there is one thing we have in common. A desire for a certain treasure. Have you heard of Edbart's shield? Edbart was a servant of the king of Faerun. Faerun? I guess that's how you pronounce that. His defense with the shield was said to be impenetrable. Legend says he used that same shield to protect his liege until the tragic fall of the kingdom. I heard a rumor that it's been spotted in this very town as of late. Curious timing, isn't it? Both a fabled pirate and a fabled treasure in Victor's Hollow at the same time. If you happen across it somewhere, Mr. Bistral, I'd be happy to trade it for the map. How dare you use that map as leverage? It rightfully belonged to Mr. Leon's friend. I'm sorry, but I'm afraid you are mistaken. Thank you for showing me the map, and my apologies for taking so much of your time.
Hey.
Are you really just going to leave without your friend's keepsake? That map is not mine to take. Now, I shall take my leave, lass. I'd like to celebrate his life with a drink tonight. Mr. Leon. He says he doesn't need it, but I think a memento like that is best kept in a friend's hand. Or a friend's hands. I'll find a way to get it to him. You said you'd trade the map for Edbart's shield, right? I'll be back in 2 ripples of the tide. Purchase Edbart Shield. Oh god, do we really have to purchase it? It better not be expensive. You really want that map, don't you? I do, for Mr. Leon's sake. I could steal it for you, you know. I'd rather you didn't. I can handle this myself. No, Tressa, I'd rather we did steal it, because that doesn't cost me money. He wants a trade, and he'll have it. That's what I do best. I'll show him who's the best merchant around. Well, I see my help's not needed here. No, Therian, please steal it. Thought I'd act the gallant type. But certainly, you're a lady who prefers the leading role. You bet. After all, how could I call myself a real merchant if I refuse this challenge? How indeed. It better actually give me the option to steal this. Or not cost a bunch. Been fighting too many bosses as of late that won't let me steal from them. Oh, I can't steal from him. Urgh. $8K, fine. Fine. See, I only have 246K now, and that is not nearly enough for purchasing new gear once we get to the outer towns. Sigh. Okay. Back so soon. I made a promise, didn't I? And I always deliver. Is it just the slash that's like killing your whole team? Have you? Well, I mean, if you picked Honnet as your main, I mean, she's not. I mean, obviously, I personally don't think she's all that good, but she should be more than enough for dealing the damage you need. So really, I mean, if it's the slash, again, like my best advice is 2 healers, a tank, Honnet, and then evasion gear on all your characters. I'm pretty sure around your level you should be able, I can't remember if you can get up to 300, but I know you should be able to get up to at least everyone over at least 200, maybe even 250. And that should help quite a bit, I would assume. What I would do is I would just, make sure you're stealing from everybody. So if you haven't already, go back to all like the introductory towns. Make sure you're stealing everything you can. And then let me also do that for the outer towns as well. The chapter 2 towns. And if you're low on money, like bring Tressa with you, for one. And if you have enough BP on her, or I mean, you can do this with Therion too, or not BP, but JP. Either one of them would work. Make sure that you get oh, what's that ability? Hold on, let me finish this cutscene here, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. My word, I can't believe you actually found it. But the symbol and this weight, and all these scars, there's no mistaking it. This is the real deal. Yes, Snatch. So what I would do is I would make sure whoever your merchant is, or whoever, just make sure you have Snatch with a merchant. That way you have Collect. And I would go and do all the bonus dungeons that are in like the intro areas and the like the areas where you're on your way to the towns where the chapter 2s are. There should be a number of bonus dungeons in those areas. And since you looking at your levels, you could easily be able to take up at least the level 20 ones. And you might even be able to take on the level 25 ones. So just go out there, find them, see what the the recommended danger level is, And if it's 20 or below, you should definitely be able to do it. If it's 25, you can probably do it. I wouldn't do any 30s at your level. They'll probably be too difficult. And what you want to do is, some of them, at least the higher ones, should have bosses in them. And you'll want to steal all the money from the boss. Easiest way to do that is when you have when you can boost 4 times. What dungeons? I'll show you on my map where all the different dungeons are, at least what to look out for. Just let me get through this cutscene real quick. Thank you so much, young lady. Here's the map as promised. But however did you manage to get this shield? I'm a merchant. We have our ways. Obtaining such a renowned treasure is no small feat. I can see you have promise, young lady, and lots of it. Okay, so the dungeons, what you're going to be looking for is like when you go on a map, right? You know how you have the little compass down on the right? When you walk into an area, so for instance, let's say I'm coming out of Sunshade, and you come into the southern Sunshade Sands. On your map, you'll see this little town icon, or you may see like this little like diamond icon, right? And in these areas, so for instance, if I were to come from the southern Sunshade Sands, and I were to go into the eastern Sunshade Sands, on my map, this little mark would appear. This little, I don't know, almost like a mountain, little entrance to it. These are dungeons. So you want to look for these. Sometimes they may look like this one right here. If you look at the Hollow Throne, this is another little type of dungeon. Basically, what you want to look for in these areas is something that is not an exit or a town. And usually it's going to be a dungeon. And what you want to do is in this like little ring of areas that's right around the beginning towns. There's a number of them. The Whistlewood, there's Path of Beasts, there's the Hoarfrost Grotto. I think there's one over here. Well, this one you don't want to do. This is level 45, Undertow Cove. But, then there's the Whistling Cavern, Twin Falls, Carrion Caves. These are all sort of entry level, level 25, level 20 and below bonus dungeons. You just want to go and explore all those. In addition to getting a bunch of chests and gear and just levels and job points, you can occasionally fight bosses that will drop a lot of money. I forget exactly which one it was, but one of the extra outer level ones, I mean, I was gaining 27k from using collect off of bosses. So once you do those outer level ones, since you're starting the chapter 2 stuff, then what you'll want to do is, for instance, if you're on the Saints Bridge, right? To go to Saints Bridge, you got to come down here to East Saints Bridge Traverse. Well, in here, there's a bonus dungeon right here, Far Shore. It's gonna be higher level, but by the time you've done some of these lower level dungeons, you should be good enough to take on some of these next level dungeons, which are in the chapter 2 areas. They're also usually going to be accompanied by all the shrines. And if you do all of that, you should be fine. Both in levels and in money to purchase gear. And that's all I did, and I was well ahead of the curve by the time I got to doing it, or I got to doing the chapter 2 stuff.
Mr. Leon!
I brought something for you.
Huh?
Balthazar's map. Don't tell me you went through the trouble of finding that shield finding the shield for that. Then I won't. Thank you, lass. Mr. Leon, were you really okay with just leaving the map at the shop?
You see,
When you gaze at it, Your eyes were so forlorn. I felt like I belonged with you. Your keen eyes never ceased to amaze me. Let me tell you a story, lass. About Balthazar and me. We were but lads when the sea first called to us, and as we grew, so did our reputation. Balthazar came to be known as the Wild Eagle, and I, the Sea Serpent. Our ships clashed on the open ocean, and our names roared like thunder through the skies.
Captain Leon! The storm be giving us no quarter, sir! Let's turn back! The old girl can't hold on much longer!
Anyone wanting to retreat can be my guest and swim back. I'll reduce this ship to shivers before I let him have my treasure. If those scurvy sea dogs get to that island first, we get nothing. You hear? Hold fast to that rudder, mateys.
Aye, aye, sir!
Balthazar, that bastard.
You're too slow, Leon.
Aye, Captain Obvious.
I think he'd have learned after all these years.
Enough. Else I'll cut out your tongue and feed it to the gulls.
Now I'll be taking this island's treasure if you don't mind.
I do mind, but it isn't mine. Do whatever you please.
Do ye remember when we were lads, Leon? Starving in the slums, stealing to survive. We dreamt of just growing up and had to fight tooth and nail to reach the top. Nothing was ever easy for us.
In this world, the strong take while the weak quake, and we became strong.
Ye never change, Leon.
You say it like you're any different, Balthazar.
Not everyone stays the same forever, matey.
Balthazar. He was always looking to the distance. His eyes gazed far, far away, toward a seemingly unreachable place. Time passed between us, until one day...
Can I tell you something, Leon? I never wanted to be a pirate.
What?
When we were lads, I dreamt of being a merchant.
Have you gone daft? Balthazar of the Eastern Seas. A merchant.
You're a bloody scoundrel for laughing, Leon. But it be the truth. I wanted to trade treasure from every corner of this here world and bring people together. I lost sight of that dream after becoming a pirate. But these days, that's all I'd be thinking about. Leon, do you have something precious to you? Aye, a fine storm this is. How about another wager, my friend? Whoever reaches that island first be the winner. If ye win, you get that gem you always wanted.
Uh-huh, will I now? And what happens if you win?
If I win, ye hand over your most precious treasure.
Deal.
That's how our final race began. Balthazar. He never emerged from those stormy seas. I found his ship several days later, wrecked on the coast. Balthazar had been the victor of our very last match. This map shows the location of the gem he wagered that day.
The Eldrite.
He called it Eldrite. It's the only one of its kind in the entire world. It was by far the rarest of all the treasures he'd plundered. But seeing as I lost our match, I haven't the rights to it. That's why you left it in the shop. Precisely. You made a proper trade for this, lass, so it belongs to you now. However you use it, it's up to you. Guess that means we have to go and get it, huh? Up to me. Mr. Leon lost more than just a race that day. I think having a memento of his friend would cheer him up. And I wouldn't mind getting a closer look at more pirate treasure. Time to put this map to use. Okay, more travel banter though. So they were friends, I see. What is it, Tressa? Well, it sounds like Mr. Leon and Mr. Balthazar got along so well. If they had worked together as pirates, they would have been unbeatable. So why did they insist on being rivals instead? Mayhap they vied with each other precisely because they admired each other, so... When a man of action meets another, his first instinct is to prove himself better. I understand well the hearts of men like Leon. I once felt the same about Earhart. What is it this time? You're a thoughtful one today. The look on your face just now. It reminded me so much of Mr. Leon's face when he talked about Mr. Balthazar. Oh, is that so? I want to go check and see. There's that merchant that we got the shield from. He had other stuff, so I wonder if we can steal that or if he's gone. I didn't want to pay for it, but if I can steal it from him, I'll be more than happy to. Looks like he's gone. So he was only there for that quest. That's unfortunate. Oh well. How long does our follower have? 3? That should be fine. Path to the Forgotten Grotto. Was this one that I had marked? Doesn't look like it. Okay. see what the monsters are in here. Oh, look familiar. Okay, yeah, we fought everything here. Nope. Oh, come on. There we go. Don't do this again to me, game.
Nice try. What to do?
Of course she misses.
Let your wounds be healed.
That is becoming a common theme as of late.
The battle is truly joy. Come if you dare.
Out of my way.
Oh my god.
Out of my way.
Oh, I can't use. I want like a ribbon in this game really bad. Like a ribbon effect.
Let's do this.
Well, you're not just doing it for the XP. You're getting job points. You're also getting all the treasure that's in there, and if there's a boss, you'll get XP from that boss as well, in addition to money. And then you can use that money, or in addition to any treasure you find, to, you know, make your equipment better, or purchase what you need to, you know, hit the evasion, and or higher evasion, or higher defensive stats and whatnot to help you proceed on. You're also, the biggest thing about getting XP, and the reason just going through those dungeons is going to be good for you, is if you eventually run into Kates, they're the little enemies that look like a little cat that holds like a little, you know, like a little sack on it. They generally run away really quickly, and they have really high evasion, but if you use an elemental item on them, so like these little items, these soul stones, you can usually kill them, and those things give you a bunch of XP and a bunch of job points. So whenever you can see those, you definitely want to get them. Or you definitely want to try and take them out.
My turn. Let's do this! Time to steal the show. Don't start things you can't finish.
You also want to try and do stuff. If you break the enemy, you get extra XP too. So, just doing stuff like breaking the enemies, things like that, will give you bonus XP. Trying to figure out how to get that chest up there. Because that goes into the dungeon. So there must be a way to get up there and grab that chest that I missed.
I'll make this quick. My turn. Over here.
My turn now. You'll be all right now.
How about you? Come if you dare.
What to do?
Out of my way.
But again, more than anything, what you're doing when you're going through those dungeons is looking for just items. Just collecting all the treasure chests. Also, you might want to make sure you bring Therion with you when you're going through them, because I know a number of them have purple chests. And those tend to have either really good gear or a lot of money in them. may also, I think it may also be helpful to like solidify 3 party members. Kind of what I did. So I have, you know, Therion's my main character, so I can't take him out of my party. But I almost always have Ophelia and Ulbrich in my party, and then I rotate that 3rd character, and you know, they end up not being that valuable in fights in terms of damage. But you know, you can make them a healer, and then they can help heal the party, or you can, you know, make them a thief, and they can help debuff the boss or something. You can make them an apothecary for healing as well. An apothecary also has the ability to poison with Empoison. And that's just the set amount of damage based. I think it's percentage based on how much HP the boss has, but it's a good way for somebody who can't actually hit the boss to deal damage. Another thing is magic, as far as I know, doesn't miss. So you can give them some sort of magic, or you can make them like a scholar if you wanted to, for hitting weaknesses. And they may not deal a bunch of damage, but they can be good at breaking the boss. And if you can break the boss quickly, then obviously the boss can't attack you, and that can be a way to help you survive as well, just by making it so the boss can't attack you that often. You could also just try using soul stones on the boss to try to end it quickly. Higher level soul stones, like M and L size soul stones, can deal a very large amount of damage.
The battle is truly joined. Come if you dare.
And apparently we haven't fought these things before. I don't have them analyzed.
My turn now. May the sacred flame shine forth. What to do?
Man, Tressa.
Out of my way.
I'll not be defeated. May the sacred flame shine forth.
Oh man, they're healing too? That's rude.
My turn now.
Let's just try a different weapon on them. No? Okay. Just thinking maybe I could hit a different weakness. Oh man.
Cursed witchery.
They just straight up debuffed my entire team. That's fine. They're all gonna die to Aber's Reckoning.
Time to steal the show.
That move is so good.
Where's the nearest tavern?
Okay, let's save one more time. I guess we'll go into this dungeon. I got everything out here. This is what I'm talking about. I was telling you about the looking at your dungeons on the little compass down there. On any of the map, most of the dungeons will look like that little marker, the one that's flashing green. Obviously, this one is a story dungeon, but when you're out walking around in the other areas, if you see that on your map, that's a dungeon. And usually these story dungeons are connected to a town. So anything that's connected to a town, you're probably going to go there through the story, so you don't have to worry about it. But any of the ones out while you're just walking around, those, as far as I've seen, I've gone through all of Chapter 1 and 2 for all characters, and I'm working on my 3rd Chapter 3 character, and so far I haven't gone to a single one of those outdoor dungeons for story. I've had a couple quests that have sent me to them for bosses. But generally those are side content, so if you don't go into them, don't make it, you know, an active reason to go into them, you just probably never will. So if you see these, you definitely want to explore them, or at least make a note of them if they're too high level for you to come back, because you can find some really good treasure in those areas. Tressa, almost 2.3k you just found for me? Do that more often, please.
a good day.
Elementals. I hate elementals so much. Oh well, we'll give it a try. See how these are. Oh man, it's gonna hurt so bad. I may have to run from this.
My turn.
Let's see if they're weak to wind.
The winds of fortune howl.
They are. Okay, so I can at least break them. Oh, that hurts so hard. Ooh.
The battle is truly joy. Come if you dare.
I remember I was fighting this one sub-boss, and the boss itself like didn't seem that hard, and then it busted out two of these big elementals in the middle of the fight. Oh man, I just used a whole bunch of items on it to try to get through that fight. Got the little soul stones. That was actually the hardest fight I've been in this entire game. Actually, no. That was the second hardest. The hardest was the Kraken. The Kraken was the hardest by far. There's a side quest that'll send you into a side dungeon. Oh, Tress is about to die. It'll send you into a side dungeon, and while you're in that side dungeon, the boss you fight is a Kraken. And it summons a bunch of ads, and then the Kraken itself attacks 3 times a turn, and that was the most difficult fight I've fought so far.
My turn now.
Just do 1 heal more.
Bring about a miracle of healing.
I wanted to do damage with her, but unfortunately my party was about to die.
Let's do this.
Merchant.
I'll not be defeated. Prepare yourself.
There we go.
May the sacred flame
Oh, and it doesn't take him out. Darn it.
Out of my way.
What about
I'm ready.
Aber's Reckoning?
Time to steal the show.
Okay, good. Man, those things are scary.
Don't start things you can't finish.
Need to heal after that. If I run into another one of those. I usually run from those type of fights because it's just not worth it. Generally. Okay, so that's going to where we need to go. So we're going to go back here. Continue exploring this way first. Here we go. This is what I was missing. No purple chests. Maybe I missed them? I don't know. Okay, let's go ahead and save. Oh, there's a chest down there. How am I going to grab that? No, sorry, I'm not fighting another one of these. Just not happening. Ooh. Sledgehammer, huh? Is that a staff by chance? Oh. That's a lot of physical attack on a staff. Oh! I know what that's good for. That's good for when we unlock the War Master subclass. One of the bonus jobs. There's a War Master job. It's one of the bonus jobs, and they can equip every single weapon. But staves usually don't have very high physical attack. That is what this is for. Interesting. Glad I got that. I think this is going to where I need to go, so I'm actually gonna kind of go back here. I gotta get that other chest I missed. Ooh, 15k leaves. That's good too. Man, can I get something other than these stupid elementals, please? I actually like to fight stuff. Here we go. There we go. Got that. Okay, now we can go to the other side. Alright, cool. Something I can fight.
Well then,
Let's go ahead and see if they're weak to light.
may the sacred flame shine
Okay, only the skeleton. Okay, not weak to dagger. Oh, but they hit hard.
Out of my way!
Weak to sword. Man,
Battle is truly joy.
these things are hitting really hard, so we're gonna insight.
Come if you dare.
Let's do this.
Okay, well, let's check if they're weak to wind. And they're not. Okay.
Let's do this.
You go ahead and rest. Get back some of your SP.
Time for a break.
Now then. I will cut you down.
Now, I'd like to deal damage with her, but I should probably heal.
Let your wounds be healed.
And that counterattack is so good on him.
Out of my way.
Out of my way.
I could take him out with Aber's Reckoning, but yeah.
Let's do that. Time to steal the show.
He's starting to run low on
I will not
SP.
be defeated. Let your wounds be healed.
The battle is truly joy.
Here I go.
She gonna have her rest again because coming up is Therian, and I just want to use SP Thief or Steal SP.
Time for a break.
I appreciate it. Really.
There we go.
And that's that.
Didn't fully refill him, but did pretty good. Do I have any more chests in here, though, is the question. That obviously goes to where we need to go for the story, so maybe up here there's one? Looks like it's almost taking us outside. Aha, here we go.
This is the beginning of your end.
Why do I get a feeling this thing will poison?
Out of my way.
I'll do my best. It's my turn now.
I guess we'll check wind.
The winds of fortune
Okay, well, the little
howling.
crab things are weak to wind.
Victory shall be mine. Come.
I should have switched his weapons, since I know sword doesn't work for breaking. Oh well.
I will not be defeated. May the sacred flame shine forth.
The battle is truly
Maybe
joy.
spear works? No? Okay.
What to do?
Actually, no, I'm just gonna break the 3 back ones. And then here... I'm gonna try to max out his SP.
I appreciate it. Really?
There we go.
My turn now.
All the towns should have a tavern. Another thing you can do, I mean, if you don't want to pay the money, you can just save. And then, or you can like pay once so you get the full, like 5 tries if you're trying to steal or something. And then just save and save scum it. That's what I did to get the golden axe and the holy bow. Both of those had 3% steal rates, and I mean, I could have bought them, but they're outrageously expensive to buy, like 80 plus K each, and I just save scummed it.
Let your wounds be healed. What to do? I won't hold back
Oh, who did he give this to, though? Maybe to Ophelia.
for you.
Victor, I played his.
Ah,
The battle is truly joined. Come, if you dare.
well then,
That poison hurts.
let your wounds be healed. Oh no!
Oh no, you're poisoned. Whatever will you do?
The winds of fortune are howling. Ah!
The
Oh
battle
man,
is
now she's
truly joined.
confused. Oh, that's not good. That's not good at all, actually.
I will cut you down.
I need to use an item on her. I can't have her confused. This has turned into a kind of a sticky situation here.
Here.
Oh no!
Don't miss. Oh, of course you missed. Ugh.
I will not be defeated.
We'll heal more.
Bring about a miracle of healing.
I shouldn't be struggling this much on this fight, but... Oh my god. But man, am I struggling on this fight.
Cursed witchery.
Oh, can I not use Abers yet? Nope. God.
No!
Actually, you rest.
Yeah. Time for a break.
Come, if you dare.
Let your wounds be healed.
I will cut you down.
Oh, I should have just used Abers there. What was I thinking?
Cursed witchery.
My turn now. The winds of fortune are howling.
Yeah, this should finish it.
Prepare yourself.
I don't know how I let that battle get so out of control, but man, that That got way out of control.
Such battles.
Vivifying stone. I think that's a revival item. Or no, it's a stone, so it's a... Prevents instant death. I like that amulet. That accessory. That also tells me that there is instant death attacks in this game. Great.